Okay.
Crowded room. Everything has lines. All of the systems, unless you're rich. I'm not talking about commuting. I'm not talking about going there on vacation. I'm talking cash. Thank you for shopping at Lucky Deals. The weather is horrible. People are aggravated. You go and visit there, and you're there on the weekend, or you're there during a vacation or something. And when I go and visit, I went for a friend's wedding. Oh, this is such a lovely city. But when you live there, and you're there on the subways in the mornings and in the evenings, everyone's super angry. That thing about, oh, New Yorkers are actually very, very friendly. No, they're not. They're not. They're not. You know how you know? Because when you talk to New Yorkers, you talk to people from New York, no matter where they go in the world, with the exception of New England, but no matter where they go, they talk about how friendly the people are. You know why? Because in New York, people are miserable and impatient and mean. Okay, in all fairness, one thing that New York has, it's a very strange power that New York has, but New York is sort of an emotional reflector. I don't know why, probably because there are so many people, but if you're in a really good mood...
Hey man, it's so cool. Thank you. I ride a bicycle too. The Schwinn, it's not as cool as that one though. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, no. I was going to say you can go out and then you will see all the nice things and so forth, but it's not that. It's the negative emotions. If you're in a slightly frustrated mood and you go out, you'll just see frustration everywhere. Because I've tested this. I've done all these tests. I would leave my apartment on 94th and West End Avenue, and I would walk south on Broadway. You know, I'd be going to a grocery store or something, and then I would account for the loveliness. And how long will it be before the loveliness is gone? It was usually 2 blocks before somebody was like, motherfucker, suck, motherfucker. And this is every day of your life. And the sirens and the horns, they never end. And the construction never ends. Wherever you're working or wherever you're living, construction is coming. And in either one of those places, construction, jackhammer, bang, 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 jackhammers. Sirens, horns, it's inescapable.
Subway broke today and it was flooded. And the whole city is like this now. Bumper to bumper, every block, every avenue, every street.
And when I first moved to LA, I had this tirade. People would be like, oh, so why'd you leave New York? And I would go on this tirade. And The Spirited Man is brought to you by the Spirited Man Patreon team. Join our Patreon team at $5 a month for exclusive access to archival videos with director's commentary and peer discussions and live streams answering your questions and comments. This New York episode was an idea from one of our patrons. Link in the description. And I think that's why I'm doing this. Someone heard my tirade and said you should do a video about this. I think at the core what really annoyed me about New York was the fantasy of New York, was the reputation it had. It was probably a reputation that started in 1949 with Here Is New York by E.B. White, and then was bolstered in the big waves of New York, like during the 70s and 80s with punk rock and new wave and Basquiat. I heard Fran Lebowitz, whom I love and is one of the reasons why I wanted to live in New York. She said that AIDS killed bohemian New York. And when I was a little kid and my dad would take the family into New York, it still was bohemian New York. It was pre-AIDS, or it was right at the beginning of AIDS. And I think it also has something to do with the age of your body. Like, you're more resilient when you're in your 20s. When I dropped out of college and moved to New York, there were so many kids from school that lived in New York or Brooklyn, and it was really wonderful. And from them you could branch out and find your people, and from them you could branch out and find your job. People left, and it came down to, like, I basically had two friends. By the time I was, 40, there were three of us left from the initial moving there. It sort of eats you alive. And for me, New York City made a man out of me. I want a truck, I want $5,000. I want a new BlackBerry with all my programmed into it perfectly and working. I want it all before I start working. I bought the new Bob Dylan book, his Chronicles, and I told the girl I bought it from, I want to see how he did it. And she said, I think the trick is he believed that he was amazing. And I asked her if that was your trick, if that was her trick, and she said yes. I said it's my trick too. And these things I became intolerant of as I got older, they forged me into a much stronger person, a much more organized person. There's no margin for error in New York, and New York really laser focuses you to be super, super responsible. And learning the New York system, I feel like, was very good for my brain. I'm a lefty, I'm right-brained, I'm very scattered and woo-woo, intrinsically, that's what I'm really like. And New York forged me into being more of a left brain systems person, and I very, very much needed that. So I would do this thing, by what metric? And my friends, the long friends that are still my friends that I really connected with, were the kids who were from New York. Eventually, those are the people that I connected with the most. This movie's called Alex and Van Forgot Their Keys. They're all still there. One of the things I really needle them about is, like, New York is the biggest townie city maybe in the world. Like, those kids don't leave. They're townies. But I love these kids that are my friends. I call them kids. They're all 40 now, but I've lost touch with them, and that's a real bummer. And you know why? The reason I lost touch is because we all got so successful. We all, and we lived these very big lives, and I happened to be able to go on a vacation with my friend Neve Schulman, who's from New York. We had our kids with us. I had my son, he had his daughter, and we went on this dune buggy adventure in Utah. It's about a year ago. And we stayed at the New York hotel in Las Vegas for one night. And I was doing my rant. And he's from New York. And he lives in Brooklyn now. And he had lived out here, and then he moved back with his family. And he wasn't being defensive or anything. And I don't even know if it was apropos of me ranting about New York. But he was talking about the service in Las Vegas, and it was really horrible. And then he said, oh, I was with my daughter, and we were at this packed pizzeria in Midtown. We were leaving the pizzeria, and I needed a bag and a box. And he said the guy was on the phone behind the counter, on the phone making a pizza, taking an order, and he looked at me. I didn't say a word to him, and he went behind his back, grabbed a box, threw it to me, and then grabbed a bag and handed it to me. The point of the story is how unbelievably intelligent and, I would say, present New Yorkers are. Hey, brother! This Central Park Drive is closed for construction, so on a bicycle you have it all to yourself, which never happens in New York. And the contradiction is equally valid. I made, my best friends in New York. I met Isabel in New York. I found my career and my purpose in New York. I met Tom Sachs in New York. It's the best place to be when you're in your 20s. And the truth is, moving to New York City was the smartest thing I ever did. And it made a man out of me. I'd be nothing without New York City. And thank God it's over. And Los Angeles is there. Pools and chargers with the EcoFlow. Eventually he's going to use it to power an air conditioner. There's a bunch of outlets on the Delta Pro, and you just plug in the extension cords or what have you. His boat's got a leak, of course, but he's going to install a backup bilge pump powered by the Delta Pro so the boat doesn't sink.
You say, never again, what have I done to get myself into this? You might...
He or she, they don't get the finished thing. They get resentments. They resent quitting. They're veteran artist.
So we're going to show up right now at Aquabella Gallery. So we got a second floor of their gallery. We're going to show a paintings, an exhibition in Japan, a museum show in Korea, making a whole series of Rocket Factory paintings. 3 projects with a Rocket Factory. Movies for all these web store where we make bags, t-shirts, Nike Soft in collaboration with Nike. There's 25 people in the team in the studio in New York, but we also have people that we work with at the factory, Phoenix, Arizona, Poland, Jordan, That's when the veterans artist resentment begins. Man overboard?
The veteran artist has been through this before. Many times. He does not resent the wall, which he knows is coming. The veteran artist welcomes the wall. He does not resent heat or humidity.
Yan.
The veteran artist resents the distractions. Distractions from the trance of
Yippee!
working with his hands. The distractions that prevent him from working on the thing. He resents the time off task.
Wow, naka 84.
That small talk.
84.
Small talk and meetings. Travel.
Oh,
Small
too
talk
bad.
and meetings. The veteran artist resents resenting the
Ganyan.
distractions. The distractions, so-called. Louis is extraordinary and fortunate. 5-star, first-class life. The distractions pay admission for the work.
So more work. So the veteran artist hits the old familiar wall. So he works and he works.
Ay, give this away.
Sleeps.
15 lang to eh.
Works and he works until he
sige.
gets his
It's better this way, really.
through inspiration. Worlds of gratitude. Gratitude for, maybe not for the wall. Gratitude for the resentment.
Parchment paper.
And for not get the gratitude.
Wala na to. These are gone.
And the probationary artist
10 by
is left
20.
with only resentment. And the
Wala akong
more
mga
he quits or
ganito.
she quits, the more resentment
Harap lang.
piles up
Sige,
until
I'll keep
he
that.
or she quits for good and doesn't make the commitment. And that's it, right?
Rich in vitamin C. Wow. Rich in vitamin C. Wow.
So I believe,
Sticker ba to?
as I did in the beginning of the commitment, in the virtue of this. I'm just pissed off because I'm in the middle of it. And I'm talking like to you as if I never wanted to do it, and that's right.
Oh wow, it is a
Right,
sticker.
every minute of it, I resent this and I'm fucking pissed off, but I'm not going to give up. And I think the
It is a
important
sticker.
thing is
Sayang.
that this feeling
It is a
does
sticker.
not go away. It's in every project. It is
Nah.
part of it. It is a requirement.
Nah.
And the difference
Fresh.
here is that
Hindi. Anong gagawin ko dun?
just
Why will I keep it?
finish. And these
Huh?
people quit.
Sipin ko nga, why will I keep that
Eventually,
shit?
get the gratitude. And these
Ito.
people
Stickers din to eh. Why will I keep this? Ito plastic pang takip sa papel, so I'll keep that. May direct ano ako. Pero ano tong, anong kikip ko dito? Stickers lang siya. So pag-iisipan ko talaga, ha?
Thank you, EcoFlow, for to check out EcoFlow's wide range
Papayito kay
of
Doc,
power
tapos
stations and solar
baka she
panels.
could give it to her classmates pa. Alam mo yun? Malay mo, may maisip sila.
Some of them, you've had some kooky characters that think they're basically vast from Far Cry 3 delays. I do want to see this, I'm kind of interested. And the suspect is just lie that they've got evidence that they don't even have just to like play the
I'm
audio
bored.
often.
Ay,
On a
nako.
seemingly regular evening in 2011, found. After
It just seems to me like the most two
other evidence, they arrested the man and brought him to be interviewed. The so-called addict was Jeff Pearson, the man who committed the robbery. And then Jeff goes down in history as one of the only times a man single-handedly beat the cops at their own game. All that while experiencing horrific heroin withdrawal.
I mean, there have been probably many cases of like convicts outsmarting the cops. Before I explain myself to you, before you able to almost like speed run the whole, interrogation process. Like he doesn't admit. Alright, Jeff, can you read with me? Just read your head, okay?
I wanna use these for something. Putang is... Ano kasi po...
Either act remain silent, anything you say can be used against you before the law.
Okay, fine. Backside. Pero dapat kasi kailangan ko silang magamit
Do you
kaagad.
understand? Do you understand what I read you? Do you comprehend what I read you? What the cop is trying to do at the minute is like sign his rights away. So basically, if Jeff says yes, he understands, he's not allowed to get a lawyer. So, but then he's worried that if he says no, I think he's going to get pushed more against the wall. They're going to try and twist stuff against him. So yeah, it's basically the right to, because you've always got a right to remain silent in court of law in pretty much most countries, and they're trying to take that away from you. Understand the rest of it?
So ito na lahat ng trash
He's
ko.
just fully stun locking this cup.
Just have to decide where things should go. Take a picture of all those things before I dispose of them. Including trash ko dito. Ay.
You're probably given the right drugs as well in prison. From like Winnie the Pooh. Sounds like Barney the dinosaur. How long have you been using heroin? Last night. Look, you had some circumstances, or you committed an armed robbery last night.
I'm in a shitty boat.
But I think it's in your best interest to.
Hell, I don't mind to fucking give me and your all you're trying to do is something fucking stupid.
Alright. So here's the situation. Ang dami kong mga papers dito. Be it files, old drawings, old things na I have to skim through and choose carefully which to discard, which not. And ideally I have to record all of them so that I have a copy. And so that I can get rid of the physical copy. As much as I wanna, have a nostalgia about the physical copy, so long as it's just occupying space in this room without it being used ever in the span of 6 months, I want it out. I cannot bullshit myself anymore na I'll have to find a reason to keep it. No. I can't keep it for the sake of nostalgia, nor can I destroy or ruin it or rendition it for the sake of art, for the sake of keeping it. Para lang gawin kong... I can't make it into an artwork just so I can keep it. I can't afford to make an artwork right now because I'm in the process now of decluttering. I have to fucking get rid of shit instead of keep adding more into it. So my plan is skim through all of my paper files, etc., and then hopefully put them in here. I have to buy more of these sheets dun sa Pandayan bookstore para ito mismo mabili ko, not the ones in NBS, because those are not the same fitting holes as these. So yun nga, I'm gonna have to carefully skim through all of them. Mga yun, picture scan and copy, and it's just really annoying with how much more work I have to do, but I gotta do it. Nobody else will do it.
Like he killed his wife. You you wouldn't have any sympathy for him, right? But because it's like, you know, he's obviously a heroin addict, you almost feel kind of bad for him. And then, you know, he's kind of stuck with the police. It's kind of funny. It's kind of based.
Professional here for life. Exactly, because I know they're trying to be a professional. Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
Someone in chat said Cars 4's looking really weird. He does sound a bit like the brown car, right? The truck. I didn't do no Bedford, no.
I ain't committing no armed robbery. And y'all ain't got no fucking evidence saying I did. Let me go. All you did is find me sitting in my buddy's house with my fucking buddy's dog going ape shit. I go outside. There are cops everywhere. And they spotlight me. They say, come here. I say, what's up? They search me. They find me. What's up? No, because I'm not going to sign it.
One thing that's interesting as well is, like, I think everything Jeff just told the cop, because he hasn't signed his rights away yet, anything he's just said then actually can't be used in legally. Like, it's been said, it's been recorded, but I don't think it's actually allowed to be used. Yeah, there's so many weird legal loopholes with the law. It's like, you can admit to something, but if you didn't, like, sign away your rights beforehand, or, like, sign the right paperwork, it can't even be used in court against you, even though they literally have fucking proof that you've said something.
I'm not signing, man. You don't have to sign it. I'll read it. You haven't read it to me, have you? I know you did. So I don't read it to you yet. Yeah. Before we ask any questions, let's understand what your rights are. If you're not a foreign lawyer and want one, the line will be provided for you. You decide
Tomato equals Walter Hartwell White.
to answer questions now about a lawyer present. You still have the right. You also have the right to stop answering me.
I lawyer so much, by the way, because like there is no way you can win with a cop in an interrogation room. Like the most you can do is like not progress. Like that. Like they want to like level up their fucking XP, right? They're grinding XP. You're that diamond ore, and they just keep like hitting you over and over and over. But like if you don't give them anything, they can't level up at all. There is no way to like make a situation better apart from saying nothing and then just go to a lawyer. It's so genius though, they always pull the same shit. It's like, only guilty people get lawyers. Why would you want to get a lawyer?
If you were sitting there talking just like you were ready to sit here and tell me what happened last night, then all of a sudden I read that to you and you screw it, I ain't talking to you. I don't understand that.
What game is this? It's just a cutscene in Resident Evil 4. I've got everything on max settings.
I told you what I already told you what happened. You didn't. I didn't. You didn't tell me what happened. I didn't. I just tell you what. But now you handcuffed me, and I can't talk to you because you asked for it. So, okay, that's fine. But I will tell you right now, you're still on hold for robbery. I know. I don't know why. I need a fucking lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing, and obviously you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same bullshit before, and you guys don't interview me this much. So, wham, bam, thank you for the coat. Put me back in the cell.
Wham bam, put it back in the cell. Okay, I'm not joking. I genuinely think they just got the guy earlier. They got his son in. Because look at that hairline there, and look at the hairline of the guy that they bring in. They just got his son. Or maybe they brought the same guy in and they gave him like a toupee, like a wig, like a trick Jeff into thinking it's a different police detective. It's kind of sad though, to be fair on Jeff's part though, right? The fact that he's been through the ringer so many times, he knows the process, he's aware of it.
Okay? So ask you questions here on your rise. You understand that? You're outside there until you get full. I'm not signing that. Okay, you don't have to sign that. You understand your rights there, right? That's all you is verbal, yes? Yeah. Where's that? It's coming. Get the other. Here, about 2 minutes. Just watch the service.
Coke was laced with truth serum.
You know, if you're saying you didn't do it, you would give your side of the story. I didn't do it.
Well, obviously someone being in an interrogation room for the first time, they wouldn't know about the whole cops lying thing. But I think Jeff would know, right, because he's been through it so many times. But that cop there saying, we have evidence that you've done it, but we want to hear your side of the story. Why the fuck would a cop want to hear your side of the story if they've got you dead to rights, if they've got you on, like, CCTV and they can ID you? Why do they want that? They're just mocking you. They don't have anything. But but they're allowed to lie. There's like a meme that people keep thinking of, like this misconception that like if a cop is undercover, they have to tell you that they're undercover if you ask. But like, it's not the case at all.
Yung si Badger.
So I got a lot of evidence. I got a lot of this evidence.
Well, like what?
Jeff is on a new game called Splay. He's got like a second monitor for like all the speedruns.
Inside to find her unresponsive on the mattress. She had blood coming out of her nose and severe bruising across the right side of her face. But the most alarming thing was that she wasn't waking up. And by 3:30, confirmed that she had her first person interest, which was 22-year-old George Hughley V, Darby's ex-boyfriend. And the next several hours were spent gathering information.
They always do that, don't they? Like in murder investigations, they always kind of circle it around family or like people that they're dating, because it's usually apparently there's a saying where it's like most of the murders or crimes are committed on people that they know. It's usually never like random. You know, like serial killers will tell you like random people from like a specific type of person. That's so niche compared to like someone doing it once, like breaking into someone's house or like murders. So usually like whenever there's a crime, it's usually a family that's under suspicion. Also, this woman looks absolutely terrifying. This is like a female ghost frame. She looks terrifying. I do not want this woman moving. The ex-boyfriend now, with this woman up against him, he is screwed. Lydia? No, I thought Lydia as well. I thought Lydia from Breaking Bad. Yeah, no.
A prestigious All Boys private school in Bethesda, Maryland, with annual tuition fees of up to $50,000.
Everyone in chat is saying Bethesda. You guys know Bethesda is an actual location, right? Bethesda Game Studios is called Bethesda because they're based in Bethesda.
Jordan's response was to lethargically put on his flip-flops and walk over to the passenger side door of the unmarked.
Imagine the description of the suspect being, yeah, we've got a white Caucasian male, lethargically putting on his flip-flops. It's like they're trying to give a description of events and they're constantly insulting the guy, at which point Jordan would no longer approve of his interest, according to the suspect. You see this bit here, the first thing that came to my head was this scene. You were talking about prison.
The more information he's likely to give away, then as soon as he locks himself into one particular storyline, the pressure can commence, which often leads to a suspect being laden with panic and contradictions.
I always find it so impressive like how manipulative the police are when they perform interrogations. Like obviously they're going up against someone that's evil, but it's weird they need to use the same kind of tactics of deception and manipulation to try to get good results.
Jordan has two options here. Option one is to remain silent, then allow his father to get in the most expensive attorneys in the country. He would then have years to examine the evidence, evaluate the many options available, and then construct the most self-preserving storyline with world-renowned experts in criminal defense before they present it to a jury.
He can do all of that, or he can be a complete fucking moron and talk. Which one is he going to do, chat? One or two? I don't know. It's a 42-minute video, so I feel like he might do the second one. I'm not sure yet. Maybe he does take the lawyer. I've seen so many videos that try to like explain how to deal with the cops in the interrogation room. You just don't talk. You just do not talk. Because the cops, when they go, just get on. That sucked as well. If he just apologised, he had to be that. He had to get the last say in there, right? That little snarky. I never knew this happened. I didn't know it. The fat guy, it's like you can't recover from that, bro. You can't. But basically, yeah, like fat people in Hollywood, they're mocked a lot, right? Like they are the butt of the joke, the only joke. So that makes sense. But again, it's like two wrongs don't make a right? He could have literally just turned around and said like, you're the one that has to make fat jokes at people's expense.
Countless paparazzi videos show James walking through Los Angeles looking quite angry and disinterested, although having a camera involuntarily shoved.
I mean, that's a cope. I never understood that angle. I never understood that angle of like, if someone is walking around in public and they don't look like they're actually on like fentanyl, they don't look so happy and buzzed, then they look unhappy. I've never understood that. Like, I swear, I read somewhere that you're only happy about like 20% of your life, statistically. Like, you're allowed to walk down the street and look and just chill.
And only answered 3 different questions before IMDb.
What were they thinking?
So awful that James Corden didn't even end up watching the movie himself. However, James stating,
I mean, like, James saying he hasn't watched a film he was in, that's apparently very normal with actors. A lot of actors don't like to watch things that they're in. Because you know how it's like when you hear your own voice in a recording, you hate it? A lot of actors apparently take it to the next level. I watch my own videos in private to make sure that they're like, fact-checked and, correct and whatever. If I'm with a group of mates and they're in schools,
And I'd have a six-pack by now.
as well as some awful ones, such as a zero personal.
okay, this is like me being an elitist here, but I genuinely think like there's a real like health crisis with obesity in America and stuff because the quality of food in America is...
Will have a sense of superiority that burns 35,000 calories a day.
Which Bill in turn.
I really am endangering the lives of the world's biggest pop stars. Here is a list of every carpool karaoke where
I do respect that he clapped back and actually acknowledged it though. I do respect that. He kind of had to, but I do respect that. He could have played it off.
Well, while Corden did a pretty good job of debunking these claims, there are still countless comments on
That's kind of based.
carpool karaoke from people who never saw the debunker calling the videos fake. This all feels so fake when you know he's not actually driving. Fake news, James isn't actually driving.
Fake news.
Please don't come back to the UK, with each of these comments being accompanied by flattering articles such as, farewell James Corden, you were an asshole.
That was baby. Poor little James. Jamesy Wamesy.
Watch how ridiculous this is.
So please, join me in a world where your local gym does look like a fairly positive place. However, as we look into the methods they use to achieve this beginner goal,
I'm not... Okay, chat, I need someone to confirm this. Does Planet Fitness have a pizza day? Their entire motto is like being judgment-free. Do it, and he'll purposely slam them on the ground, like roid rage, like it's
gym being the only alternative for those looking to perform these exercises, or if you're desperate enough whilst making a fairly relaxed YouTube video, with this piece of content pairing another titled Planet Fitness cancelled by membership after 500-pound bench press.
The thing is, I get it because, you're filming in a gym.
Who in the gym? Please no jeans, boots, sandals, or string tank tops, thank you.
Okay, that's string tank tops. That's kind of
Denied entry altogether because his water bottle was too big to fit in their designated cup holder. If you think about it, the entire concept is an incredible idea. By keeping the judgmental people away, you only attract the insecure who pity themselves. At the same everyone goes, then the place would be so busy it would either violate legal codes or be so packed you wouldn't be able to work out because everyone is...
I'm trying to see how many there are. There are so many in Florida. Jesus Christ. Okay, Wyoming kind of based. There's only like 4 in Wyoming. Jesus, look at this though. The Eastern Seaboard. Oh my God. Guys, I'm ending stream now. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you guys later. To get absolutely nothing in return apart from the feeling of goodwill, and that goodwill goes away once you realise you've been scammed.
Finding the entrances with advanced, expansive crafting and fortification systems, grow crops in a fully fleshed out farming system.
Like so dated, everything that's been like day and night cycle. Far Cry 3 had that, and that came out like 2012.
A dream game in a genre that has seen some of the
So, just give me a call when you're done on stream, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no worries. We'll do.
Have a good one. Love you.
Love you too. Bye 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 bye.
Ew, he says he loves his mom. That's gay.
Johnny Guitar made it very clear he and his small team.
Just for clarification, she's not actually like from.
Of course. So,
Yeah, showing
just give me a call
affection.
when you're done on stream, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no worries. We'll do.
Have a good one. Love you.
Love you too. Bye 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 bye.
Ew, he says he loves his mom. That's gay.
But Johnny Guitar made it very clear he and his small team.
Just for clarification, she's not actually like from London. She was doing a bit. She doesn't go. That was a bit. I just want to clarify that. It's the worst thing you can do is say you've got Raymond because you just get so many degenerates just spamming you. Until the game gets so big, because I think a lot of these developers, they have like stretch goals and they'll hit them so quickly and then be like, oh shit, and then it gets like so overwhelming. But some of them do legitimately they get greedy.
Greenlight allowed for developers to get their game listed on Steam via popular vote. Within the first few days,
That was, if anyone doesn't remember, Steam Greenlight was one of the worst things Steam has ever done, apart from like, enabling CSGO gambling. There were so many of these like complete dogshit rush games, but they would use like bots to updo a game to force it to the front page. Like if a game came through Greenlight, there was basically a 50-50 chance that it was just never going to be updated, it was just a money grab.
just under 8 months later, on July 17, 2017, Dead Matter launched their Kickstarter campaign. The goal, as you'll often find on Kickstarter projects, was a laughably small amount, 60,000 Canadian dollars, which is around 50,000 US, was an important promise that, while naive, does come into play a little bit.
It's such a dangerous thing when you say that, by the way. Like, we vow to never delete comments. Just, don't delete comments, but never say you won. Because by doing that, you will literally have, like, Reddit vultures hovering you, waiting for you to do it, so they can just
give me a
stop you.
second,
Like,
I
okay?
lied. Look, you lied.
Ano chichirya?
Gusto ko Nova, si Doc Nova.
Hello?
Ako malaki Nova, si Doc Nova.
Nova?
coaster.
Gusto ako. Sige. Gusto mo mag-ice cream. Mahal lalamunan ko eh.
Way more than helps you. The closed alpha had reportedly over 60,000 users, and there is no way you will ever contain all of those opinions or prevent people from leaking footage. Having the NDA, however, shows that you are trying to hide something.
I think I disagree with that. I think NDAs are fine with companies and stuff because they actually don't want their shit leaked. Because an NDA is basically, it's a way of saying contractually and legally, if you leak our shit, we can fuck you up. And that's basically a deterrent to stop people from leaking. Obviously, you still have leaks on video games anyway because they don't know who the leaker is or it's a hacker or something. They do it anonymously. I think if you get into a closed early access game that's been backed by people, then yes, like you've got every reason to be wary of an NDA. That's an exception. But for the most part, it's people trying to protect their stuff.
There are also a lot of conspiracy theories in the Dead Matter community regarding where the money went and how it may have been misplaced. For example, some people are convinced that Nick Zorko, the CEO, bought himself a mansion.
Why does this always happen? Why is this all... Every time people get Kickstarter money, they always buy like the most extravagant. And you know the worst thing is? These people, they get so much money so quickly and they don't know how to like keep getting that money. They don't reinvest it, they don't do anything with it. Like even if he took the money and ran in crypto, he'd actually be able to like, get the money up or even invest it in like housing or stocks, like traditional stocks like gold. But no, he just buys a house and he will not be able to afford the upkeep of that. He'll have to eventually sell it. These people just do not think more than a day ahead. It's so bizarre. They are truly like the NPCs of like of character games of Final Fantasy. It's really just the dead company realizing that they fucked up.
When they try to bring something big, something is missing. Sometimes it leaves in memory. Multiple employees told me it was commonplace for Nick to scream at people during meetings, especially if it was something like the beginning of one of these factions. That is, of course, if he was at meetings at all.
Nick would also walk into meetings and he'd be like,
I see that magic.
slam
Xbox actually had games.